Well, hello. How's everyone doing out there? Today I wanted to bring you guys a nice standalone video so that I can keep the consistency going on the channel. And today I'd like to give you guys an update on the last video where a gentleman in his 30s was being pursued by a woman well into her 40s who had been dumped by her ex-husband. She had a couple of kids, they were grown. If you guys remember, I think a couple of Saturdays ago I released that video. The guy was making $310,000 a year or something like that, and he ended up leaving his wife for a younger, hotter woman, basically. And she worked at a motorcycle repair place, kind of got fired for taking a bunch of time off, and this gentleman seemingly took advantage of the fact that she was, kind of on the desperate side. She was pursuing him pretty hardcore. And then after he had his way with her, she wondered why they weren't in a relationship or something like that. So I'd like to bring you an update. Yes, I actually printed this stuff out, and I wanted to make sure I give you guys an update on what happened, because this happens very often if you guys end up with someone that's a little older, and typically their options tend to run out. They have less and less options. The older a woman gets, the less options she has, and every time you see an older woman with a younger guy to the tune of about 10 years or so, you're going to start seeing that their options are limited, and they'll do things out of the norm, meaning break rules and potentially wonder what they're doing wrong. And this is a good case of what basically can happen in that situation. So real quick, I wanted to give you guys an update. So the guy reaches out to me. Remember, him and her had kind of like banged once and then dipped out, and then she kind of keeps in touch by Instagram. So he says, been wanting to shoot you an update since you shared my story on the standalone video. Hope it did well for you. It actually really did. I really appreciated that. He goes, homegirl hits me up a couple of weeks back on IG and sends me a bikini pic from Punta Cana and then tells me how it was a well-deserved vacation for her. I chuckled when I read it and thought, from what? Like, well-deserved from what? Like, a lot of women, especially after a divorce, they feel they can go out and be wild again, and they think they need to go to Punta Cana, Santorini, Machu Picchu, all those places to get away from things and take a well-deserved vacation. He's right. For what is right? He says, you don't even have a job. But that's what he's thinking, not what he's saying. As soon as she sees that I saw the picture, because on Instagram it sees that someone saw your message, she hits me with the, I want you to know that I had planned on taking you, but you stopped talking to me. Oh, you're missing out on a vacation with a 47-year-old woman in Punta Cana. I'm sorry. Wow. I told her that I couldn't and wouldn't have gone, but thanks anyway. Then she starts in with the, why did you have sex with me and then stop talking to me? Was that your plan all along? Women might not want to hear this, but yeah. How does a 35, 36-year-old man see a future with a 47-year-old woman if he is a successful man and he can bang hotter chicks that are younger and see a future with someone that's younger? Meaning, if he wants kids and marriage eventually, he's not going to pick a 47-year-old woman. So a younger guy that might want kids in the future, that's something a woman that's in her 40s simply can't offer. He goes, she says, is that what your plan all along? I said, I told her no, but I felt like we were in very different places in life, and that I was content with just being friends with her. She then apologized to me and asked if it was because of the sex. I told her no, it was because we led different lives once again. They don't want to hear that. They want to know if they were good in the sack, which is odd in my opinion. Women can literally lay there, and as long as a poom is kind of wet, life's good. She then told me that I was the first one that she had sex with since getting divorced from her husband, and that it was different for her. I told her, all good, I get it, and that I understood. I kid you not, man. She then asked me if I had to rate the sex, where would I rate her at? Women don't do that. Don't do that, especially with a slightly experienced man. There are women out there that have just like the wettest pussy on the planet, and that alone makes the sex ridiculous. If you can't ride, we don't care. If the poom is super wet, we'll make you do what we want you to do. But if we were to lay there and then rate what the women do, I'm sorry, a lot of the women are duds. A lot of women can't ride, won't ride. A lot of the women don't even know how to handle a penis. You would think at 47 years old and having 2 kids, she wouldn't know how to handle a penis. So I was like, so he says, I was like, what the fuck? Who asks this, especially at 47 years old? I didn't reply to the message, so of course she hit me with the double question mark, like, hello, please rate my vagina. I said that I wouldn't answer that, and she replied with, that bad, huh? I said, no, it's not like that. And I wasn't sure why she was so hung up on it. But I get it. If it was the first one after her husband of 10 plus years, I could see where it was strange for her. Then she asked me if she could make it up to me, and I would be up to do dinner and then come to her place after, and that's where we are as of today. He asks me, thoughts? Alex, thoughts? Like I said before, it was boring. But does this broad all of a sudden turn it on? And it winds up fulfilling the bucket list deal that he has. This gentleman had a bit of a bucket list kind of like feeling of potentially banging an older broad, and he has the ability to nail this broad on a regular basis. But I'm gonna be honest with the gentleman, she is doing that hoping that you like fall in love with her or see her as someone that you can actually be in a relationship with. Now, I'll finish the paragraph and then I'll give you my thoughts based on my experience, but we'll try to wrap it up, keep the video about 10 minutes long. Is she all of a sudden gonna make an effort and then doesn't? I know this isn't going anywhere, and at the end of the day, I do actually have a heart. So I don't really want to string this lady along for all that long. But the small head kind of wants to tag her again, and to see if she brings it, or is it all cap. When he says that, it tells me this gentleman is not white, let's just say that, or he's from the ghetto. After all, she is the one chasing me. Now, this situation is pretty common for someone that's been single for a while. I was single for almost 5 years, and I met a lot of people during that time, and I dated quite a bit. I wasn't shy about dating, I wasn't shy about meeting people, and I did meet a bunch of women, multiple women that were older, and they were at that stage of their life where they need to lock it in with somebody. But at the end of the day, I think some of these women are shooting for the stars, where they should be aiming for what? Something mostly resembles them, right? An older woman in her 40s can't expect a guy that's 40, 41, 42, no kids, no real responsibilities, makes 6 figures and has a lot going for him, to stop everything he's doing and make her a priority. A man like that typically has options. So a woman that is mid to late 40s, in my opinion, that has kids, and even if they're growing and out of the house, you're at a different point in life. So you're gonna have to get with someone that understands you, that has gone through similar experiences, someone who is probably a parent, someone that's older than you that you can look up to. Because what always happens is the woman that is older going out with the younger man, you're gonna hear this very often. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't have kids. Well, yeah, no shit. I don't need to be reminded every second that I don't have kids. It was actually a choice I made. I don't want kids, no thank you. You wouldn't understand unless you had them. And I go, I understand. And then they would say something like, no matter what happens, my kids are priority. And I've talked about that on many videos. And even though we understand that, we don't want to hear that shit. So this woman is in a tough spot. She has kids in her late teens. She's 47, looks good. He sent me photos. I would say, I'll give you a quick rundown. She's probably 5'7", maybe a $145. Typical American girl, brown hair, brown eyes. Nothing to write home about. An average looking woman, a 5, a 6 on a great day. Sorry. And that's actually pretty good for 47. I mean, 10 is, who's a 10? 1990s Sofia Vergara. 1990s Sofia Vergara is a 10. So to say this woman is a 5, that's a pretty good number. So someone like this is going to be stuck. They're going to have to go for an average man their age or older, or that has kids already, and that he sees her as like the prize. Oh my God, you're 47, 145, average looking. I can't get any better than you. But a lot of women that age who used to be hot stuff typically have issues because they think that they're at their peak, or they think of themselves in their mind's eye, they are at their peak, and they can attract a guy that they find attractive, when at the end of the day, you can only attract what you can attract. And if you're an average woman in your mid to late 40s, get ready to date guys that are in their 50s, who plenty of good looking guys in their 50s, plenty of shit going on, plenty of stuff. But typically they go, no, I deserve better. And then they end up with someone like this, young, rags them out, takes a toto for a ride, and then they wonder, how come he's using me? So just thought I'd give you guys an update on that gentleman. I appreciate the fact that he actually typed it out, wrote it out, I'm able to print it and actually give you a nice standalone video for that. So if you guys have any stories or comments or interesting things that happened in your sex life, love life, or upbringing, while you're being brought up, email me, ydbtforlife@gmail.com, and we'll make a nice little video about it. I'll try to get you guys a video every Saturday and a live show every Wednesday on the channel going forward. Thanks for listening, guys. And by the way, this is Juno Beach. See you guys later.